Hello, gorgeous. Today we are going to speak about sensuality and this being your gift and medicine, especially to pain and to healing and to living a life of ease. Your sensuality, especially as a woman, is such a privilege. And the thing is, many women carry this sense of shame or guilt that I find women who come to work with me, there is a common theme around sensuality and sexuality being something that we need to feel shameful around. And for many reasons as well, very reasonable reasons. And yeah, we often think or feel like we need to look a certain way. And this leads to us feeling uncomfortable with our own primal, sensitive, feeling feminine nature, which ultimately results in a lack of balance between our body's wisdom and also what our mind is telling us. So there is a disconnection between the two. But let me tell you something. You deserve, you are worthy of feeling free to embrace your desires and experiencing pleasure in your everyday life and fulfillment, and to know what it means to be completely free and alive in your body and live from that space and make decisions from that space, and allowing that to move your life rather than fear and doubt and shame. And we can do this through the reclamation of sensuality, through the reclamation of the feminine through sensuality. So today I want to go in a little bit about sensuality and looking at this term that has been defined in the eyes of this world as something that we only do in the bedroom and something that we feel like we need to feel shameful about. For those who don't know me, I am Jessica Angelari, and my whole life's work and journey has been about that, has been about exploring what all of this means. And as a pleasure, intimacy, feminine embodiment guide and mentor, this is what I do. I guide soulful spiritual women who are wanting to explore their own wisdom of their body and trust this wisdom and explore where their own erotic, sensual nature takes them in terms of igniting their desires. So this is what my journey and my life has been about as well, and what I really devote myself into this idea of redefining what the feminine really means. When I did, and I started to reconnect with my body in a sacred way, this was actually where I found my voice. This is where I was led to places that felt aligned as well. And the truth is, we can't do this work without inviting in sensuality. So this is what I want every woman to understand, because when you do, you actually stop searching. Life opens up for you. And this is how you connect deeper with love for yourself and for others around you as well. This is how you even align to bigger love in your relationships. So the idea of the feminine empowerment began for me with my own connection with my relationship to my sensuality and recognizing what that means and doing that through the activation of pleasure. I began to use my medicine of movement. If you know me, I danced samba, Brazilian samba, and I intertwined a lot of my other learnings from ancient Tantra as well. And this is how I began to access this deep power of love and trusted my womb's wisdom and my sexual power. And that's how I began to live live and align to ease, really. And this is what I want to see women, how I want to see women live, in seeing them being deeply connected with their sensuality and pleasure through their body. So there's a lot of talk about feminine empowerment and embracing softness and flow and creativity and being surrendered and all of that, right? And yes, this is true. We need this. We need to tap into this, but we cannot speak about feminine empowerment and expanding your feminine consciousness into the feminine consciousness and the divine feminine if we don't speak about sensuality. This is what is required for your soul to expand, for your intimate relationships to flourish, for you to receive as well what is meant for you, is this activation of sensuality. And we do that through embodiment, of course. And I speak a lot about the womb and the body, and this is how we tap into our feminine and powerful energetic space that I believe, we tend to bypass when it comes to speaking about the divine feminine. This is where we tap into our wisdom, our intuition, our knowings, our answers. And when we do and allow the sensuality to move through our life, this is when we begin to receive and open up to what is meant for us, as I said. And this is what is required in self-healing spaces as well. We cannot work with the mind and the heart if we haven't integrated our womb space, our yoni. It's so powerful in our womanly body. And this is where the work of feminine empowerment really is. And so part of that, yes, is speaking about sensuality. So when we're speaking about sensuality, it's not the same as sexuality. I just want to clarify that. Sensuality is considered to be related to that. Yes, it's part of it, but it's not that. Your sensuality is in the pathway to becoming more receptive to your sexual energy, your creative sexual energy. So when you're sensual, yes, you can feel more sexual and your sexual energy becomes awakened, right? But we're doing something different in these spaces. We are not focusing on this need or desire to get there. Instead, what we're doing is igniting our sensuality to open yourself and awaken to receiving more pleasure. And therefore, when you do that, you awaken to more potential through your sexual energy and the experiences of that. But that's not what it's just limited to. So I want you to understand that sensuality and pleasure is much more than what we do in the bedroom. It's this innate juice, I'm going to call it, that we carry as women, where it's in our ability to feel awake and engaged with the experiences of life. It occurs when you are fully relaxed. No matter what emotion you're feeling in that moment, it's this ability to fall back and be so connected and aware of what your body is speaking to you through perhaps your senses or your sensations. And when you understand how to do this, this is how we bring in ease and we open up to feeling pleasure. That's it. That's what sensuality is. It's not complicated, but I feel that it's forgotten in this busy world. We're just so good at being busy, so good at needing to work out strategies and why and being perfect. But The feminine is not complicated. Sensuality is not complicated. And if anything, it's not something that we can completely comprehend at mind level. It's something that we need to feel. It's a direct experience through the body. But I feel like this is something that we have to relearn and remember, because it's forgotten in this modern world where we do focus a lot on, like I said, the strategies and needing to know and logic, right? But really your sensuality is your ability to feel into pleasure and to be so connected with life on a deeper level. It's your ability to source what is present in any moment. It occurs in your slowing down, in the hip opening movements to create spaciousness to receive. It occurs through your breath, through your touch. So there's a misunderstanding that sensuality is just about cultivating this feel-good, orgasmic feeling, this sensation in the body. This is one avenue of sensuality, but in reality, you can't force yourself to feel good at all times, even when you are in your senses. This is not the point of sensuality. The point is not to feel good all the time. And we'll try really hard otherwise, and believe me, that can become very exhausting. Instead, sensuality offers us this acceptance of what is there, and it's about cultivating a feeling of becoming more connected with whatever is present in your moment, in the moment, through your body, through your senses. That's sensuality, through connecting with your sensations. And in this, you begin to train your body and nervous system that you're then open to receiving pleasure and beauty in your life. You train your body and mind that when I do these receiving practices through sensuality, I'm now safe to feel into pleasure. And that can take time to ingrain this into our cellular memory, which is why embodiment practices are so vital to in this work, really. So trying to force something, trying to force yourself to feel good all the time is an illusion, I believe. And you can relate this as well to intimate experiences. You can't force yourself to, or rush yourself to go into an intimate experience with someone. You have to slow down. You have to feel it all. You have to see where you are in that moment. And the thing is, women tell me that they don't have time, or they're not very sensual, or they don't believe they don't believe they're sensual beings, or they have too much to do. So why should they bother? They're looking maybe for a quick fix. Or the thing is, we have to make the effort. We have to allow space in our life for this, because do we want to feel overwhelmed all the time? Do you want to be in this rush all the time? Do you want to keep running around feeling the chaos and then going to bed unfulfilled? I mean, no woman wants to feel anxious, right? I think every woman wants to experience a soulful, loving relationship, or experience pleasure in the body. I don't think that we want to be feeling numbed and lost in our day-to-day life, closed up to the beauty that is really around us always. But unfortunately, this way has really become our default state. And I say this with so much love as well, love and compassion and understanding, because I've been there as well. We have lost this connection to our sensuality, this seductive feeling connected with our body. And instead, we're doing unnecessary things to keep us busy, losing this sense of connection and slowness, connection with ourselves. And therefore, we don't feel safe to let go. We don't feel safe to relax. We may even start to feel like there's something wrong with us if things don't work out. We don't feel safe maybe to feel the full range of emotions and sensations that are very much alive in us all the time. Because in truth, we are sensual in nature as women. It is in our natural erotic essence. However, our yoni, our wombs are asleep. They've dried up, and now they're requiring your attention, your connection, your sensual activation. So your sensuality is connection, it's truth, intimacy with yourself. It's the gift of presence. And it's only when you cultivate that relationship with sensuality is when you become aware and engaged with life in any moment. And that can only occur when you are present. And then when you are, then you receive more. You open yourself up to feeling more connected to your own truth. And then we don't feel lost and overwhelmed and confused and constantly on edge. Your sensuality becomes this place of softness into that. And that's because you're connecting with life. Life speaks to you through your senses, through your presence, through your breath, through your sound, through your movement, with intention. It's knowing what's alive within you, whether you're feeling heavy or exhausted or overwhelmed. You can access your senses in any given moment. It's not about needing to do more. So you can access your sensuality through your body. And what a gift we've been given that's waiting to be heard and heard by you. So it's a gift of communication and expression of how you relate to life and people around you. Your sensuality is your ability to recognize all of this, about saying, okay, right now I feel this and I'm connected to this. I hear you. I feel this in my body right now, and I am going to offer myself this to relax a little bit more right now. And you don't have to love what you feel in that moment, but you can offer yourself the connection and intimacy and practicing how that feels in your slowness. And then when you know how to, when you practice this falling back into the arms of your own inner lover, you begin to feel safe to then open more and feel more, which is needed for us women, and listen to more, because we're always receiving messages from our womb. And then through that, you're able to recognize whether it's your voice or the noise around you as well. So my work around the feminine is all about that, connecting to sensuality from this space of presence and using pleasure as this offering, because that's our gift. And we can do that in so many ways. And when we allow ourselves to experience this, then we don't bypass the things that feel difficult. We don't go into distraction mode because you don't want to feel that difficult emotion. You just allow yourself to be there and know you're safe to be there. And yeah, like oftentimes, if I am feeling all the feels, I will offer myself a tender touch to become my own mother. I offer myself a sacred movement to meet with the resistance in my body. I might need to shake my womb to release. I might need to offer myself beautiful, seductive tantra practices, such as a breast massage, to maybe release and reconnect with the love that I am. So it's really about coming back into the body to offer yourself love over and over again, and re-loving and re-mothering everything that you are. And this is what you can do through this gift of sensuality, where you meet with the woman inside of you, the mature, wild, raw, sensual, erotic woman who is you. So when you become aware of your own sensuality and this gift in any moment, this is how you shift your perspective on life, including the hard moments. And I also know, like I said, this is not about something else that you have to do in your day-to-day life. I know that life gets busy. I know that there are lots of things to do, especially if you're a mother or a businesswoman or you're homeschooling or whatever. There's always something to do, right? So just know that, first of all, you are sensual in nature. So it's not something extra you have to do. We're just relearning and resensitizing this aspect of ourselves, so then it just becomes you. So you can bring sensuality in your everyday life. It could be something as simple as in the slowness as you connect with and be present when you're cleaning, or this is something really on the top of my head, when you're let's say in the shower, and you're feeling the water touch your skin. Just be immersed in your senses. What do you feel? Does it feel hot? Are you feeling relaxed in that moment? Notice if your thoughts are taking over in that moment. Can you bring yourself back down into your body and just notice the feeling of the water as it touches your skin, and how you are connecting with the earth in this way as well? This is you igniting your sensuality. After a while, you won't have to try and do this. You just naturally feel connected to this, to your senses. So the more you energize your senses, the more you naturally live from that space of pleasure. And then when you do, your intuition awakens, because that's how you're connecting with your soul. Because the universe, or your highest essence, will then speak to you in really loud ways because you're listening. She will speak to you through your senses. You become receptive through your slowness. And that's the gift of being in your body. It's beautiful. And then through that as well, like I said, you begin to shift your perception, your perspective of life begins to change. And you experience life through different lens. You actually begin to see life with color, and your radiance and vitality begins to emit. There's like a real radiance that vibrates through your body, because you're remembering your gift in this womanly body, and she is guiding your life. So you want to know how to that could be your natural authentic way to enhance your beauty instead of doing all these other things. That is one way. And you're also receiving answers because you shift your perception from feeling stressed to being present. And that's why sensuality is a privilege. It's not about doing more. It's about activation into whatever you're doing, bringing aliveness into the mundane. We have the opportunity to create a mundane moment and turning it into something beautiful, something pleasurable and magical. All right, maybe not with everything. In reality, there's just some things that just aren't amazing, right? But yeah, I mean, you get what I'm saying. This is what replenishes your feminine. This is the gift of being in a woman's body, because you get to feel so many things. And that's why I love bringing in sensual movement, erotic movement, sensual touch in my programs, because this is how we make love with life, even through pain. That's how we become present. That's how we learn intimacy. That's how we feel safe to be vulnerable with ourselves. When you know how to be intimate with yourself, you become intimate with life as well. And you enhance your senses. And then when your senses are heightened, you, like I said, you are really engaged with life instead of moving through life from that numbed, overwhelmed, tired state. The world requires your vibrancy, my love. And yeah, I will leave you there. And just remember your sensual arousal and your ability to open up to your body's potential for pleasure has the ability to balance stress in your body. It really does. You have everything you need in your body. You just need an environment, a sensual environment, a space to be guided as well, to feel safe, to explore, to expand into the feeling of everything you feel, to really access your feminine frequency of love, and to make love move through you, to make love with life. And if you would love to begin this little journey of connecting with all of your senses and life and awakening to your pleasure and igniting your sensuality, I invite you into my 7-day erotic woman embodiment series. It's a free 7-day program that's filled with beautiful and feminine embodiment practices, from your womb to simple breath work to yoni awakening to exploring your sensuality, where you really just be present with whatever you are feeling in that moment, where you feel sexy, where you feel alive, where you feel empowered and connected with your body. So that's there for you. And if you would love to work with me further, I have Feminine Remembrance Come Home to Yourself. That's a 10-week group program. And you can work with me one-on-one with your womanhood, where we dive into exploring and returning to your womanhood, to live your life of ease and beauty and sensuality. Okay, beautiful. I will leave you there. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, it's just such a pleasure. This right here is pleasure for me to share my medicine with you. So if you're watching, thank you. My name is Jessica Angeleri, and so much passion and pleasure to you.